somewhere else. So let's go a little bit deeper into some causes of soil erosion. Agriculture. Farmers remove native plants and till soil, heavily disturbing the soil. Tractors and equipment leave deep ruts in the ground, making pathways for water. So, down here in the South, we're pretty fortunate that we can see a real example of this. So, some of you may live on a farm or near a farm or have family that has a farm. Tractors are very big and very heavy, obviously. And whenever they drive through soil that's been recently tilled, or if it's, kind of muddy from rain, they leave, um, tire tracks basically. And those generate pathways for water to just flow through. And whenever that water is flowing through it, it's got to go somewhere. And when it's going and it ends up, in a pool somewhere or in a river or a stream, wherever it ends up, it's taking soil with it. I mean, you may not think that it'll be a whole lot, and it may not be a whole lot. It may take a long time for this to really show a big effect, but nature doesn't really see time the same way that you and I see time. Um, for nature, 100 years is, whatever. I mean, some trees live way longer than that, and the soil is will be there for a long time as long as nothing happens to it, like erosion. But for you and I, 100 years, that's an entire lifetime, even more than most people's lifetimes. So it may not seem like a big deal now, but over time, it all adds up. And there's a picture of some sheep and some cows and some goats too. Like I said earlier, the more of them there, the more grass and stuff that they have to eat, the less healthy that the soil will become because they're pulling out all those plants. And if it's a tornado or a big heavy flood comes through that area, it's going to wash away a lot of that soil. Deforestation. Tree roots hold soil together while their leaves and branches provide a canopy to help protect the soil from heavy rainfall. When it rains, the soil that is washed away piles in rivers, causing them to become cloudy. So tree roots, you guys have seen, tree roots before, whether it's like a tree that's fallen over or, in a video or a picture. Tree roots go down very, very far. And those tree roots help hold soil together. Um, it kind of provides structure and a way to make it more stable. And that helps soil from moving. And, like it says, the leaves and the branches, those provide, basically a natural umbrella for the soil so that whenever it rains really hard, um, it doesn't just go pitch the soil, is full on, straight from the clouds and go straight and hit the ground. Because if it did that, there's a higher chance that it's going to be able to erode that soil and push it away, and it's going to oversaturate the soil. And like it says, when it rains, the water that is washed away piles up in rivers and it causes them to become cloudy. And that can lead to, like, if you've ever been to a lake or a river and it's just, real dirty brown color after like a heavy rain, that's because soil has been washed into there and it's, kind of turned into mud and it's made the water all cloudy and gross looking. So here's another couple causes of soil erosion. Mining. Surface mining requires large portions of land to be cleared out in order to harvest materials. This leaves soil exposed and able to be removed by wind or rain. So when they're going through with all their mining equipment, they're basically stripping out the top layer of the ground and the soil in order to try to find whatever material they might be looking for. They, I mean, they could be mining for salt, for metals, for or any other kind of material. And if it rains or the wind starts blowing in that area, it's just going to pick up the soil and it's just going to push it away. Or if it rains, it's just going to pick it up in the water and push it away. Construction. The process of building new buildings or roads can lead to the exposure of topsoil. It is also usually accompanied by deforestation or forest degradation. So as you can see right there in this picture, that parking lot and those buildings, before all that stuff was there, um, there could have been a forest there. There could have been a lot of greenery and, natural soil there. But whenever we're going to build something, we have to take out that top layer and get rid of all those plants if they were there so we can build a strong foundation or pour concrete or pour asphalt so that we can build whatever it is we're going to build. And that's getting rid of that natural protection against soil erosion. You might not think about it, but if it rains heavily enough, or if there's, um, a crack in concrete or asphalt and enough water gets under there, especially in the wintertime, if it freezes, that that will break that concrete and that asphalt, and that can lead to even more problems. So let's talk about some natural events that lead to soil erosion. Traumatic weather events like hurricanes and tornadoes are capable of causing soil erosion. Um, it exposes the soil, and with the accompanying rain, leads to soil erosion. This picture over here is a picture of a hurricane taken by a satellite in space by NASA. That just kind of gives you a um, little bit of context or how large and powerful these hurricanes might be if you've never done a lot of weather or climate research. There is a whole lot of rain and very powerful wind in that area. So if soil is not properly protected by plants or other measures, it's just going to get blown away and swept away by the wind and the rain. Gravity is also capable of causing soil erosion. A process known as soil migration can lead to soil erosion as well. So, soil migration is basically like if you were digging a hole out in your garden or a flower bed, when you stick your shovel in there or you stick your hands in there and you pull the dirt away, there's that little bit of dirt that always falls back into the hole. That is soil migration, or it's an example of soil migration. And the reason why that falls back into the hole, obviously, is because of gravity. So, how can we help prevent soil erosion? There's a lot of ways that, we can do things to help protect the soil. Um, it's kind of our responsibility to do so since, we do so many things to damage the soil. I think, it's only fair that we do some stuff to help prevent soil erosion. So here are a few things that we can do. Maintain a healthy perennial plant cover. So a perennial plant is basically a plant that will come back over time. I think it's 2 years is what is considered to be a perennial plant. So if it'll come back for at least 2 years, I believe it's considered to be perennial. So if you keep a good layer of those plants in an area with soil that could be exposed, it'll help protect it from the wind and the rain. The roots of those plants will help hold the soil together, and they'll provide protection from heavy rainfall. Um, Mulching. If you guys are gardeners or anything like that, whenever you're doing like a landscaping project, putting mulch out to protect the soil is a good way to keep it from being damaged or, washing away or losing too many nutrients. Planting cover crops like ryegrass, oats, and cereal rye. So if you are farmers, or if any of y'all are farmers, you probably know about crop rotation. Um, but a lot of crops, even if you do rotate them, a lot of times, like in the winter, like when it's really, really cold, crops don't really grow very well. But there are some things that can grow in the winter that, they're pretty hardy. The picture over there on the right is a picture of oats, like we, use for oatmeal or something. And those are able to grow in the wintertime and can, help protect the soil during that time of year because, a lot of times the winter season can have a lot of rainfall with it or a lot of precipitation, snow and ice and sleet, things like that that can lead to soil erosion. Since a lot of times that time of year there aren't a lot of, grasses and plants growing, or at least none that are really healthy and very large that would be able to help protect the soil from being eroded. And then finally, maintenance on areas that experience heavy water runoff from storms. Um, when it rains a lot, a lot of populated areas have water runoffs. Like, so you might have seen it on a street. There's like those little grates or holes that are on the sides of roads. Those are meant to be a way for water runoff to go somewhere and be, pumped into a river or put somewhere safe that it's not, just washing away the soil or leaving large puddles for people to have to drive through. So those are just a few ways that we can help fix soil erosion. Some of them we're able to do as, just everyday people, like mulching or putting out plants that can help protect the soil. And some are, they're a little bit larger in scale, like maintenance on areas um, to help with heavy rainfall. We can do that a little bit, but a lot of that falls on businesses and politicians to maintain that. So that is all of our slides here for soil erosion. Um, we are going to do a little lab demonstration. I'll put up a link to the video that you guys can watch and um, use that to complete your little lab report. Sorry about the coughing and stuff. My allergies are really bad today. Um, but yeah, that should be it as far as what we're going to cover for soil erosion. Um, so I will see you guys tomorrow.